This is the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. The Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, while it might not be available in all regions, it is one of those phones that feels and seems super similar to something that we have already seen. But at the same time, there are some key differences and key unique selling points of it. But today, let's focus mostly on the cameras of the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. Before we begin, a very big thank you to Trading Shenzhen for sending out this smartphone for me to test out and see how I like it. Without them, this video would not be possible. And if by the end of the video you are interested in getting one for yourself, check out the link down below for Trading Shenzhen. And while I want to mostly cover the cameras of this smartphone, let's just talk about a couple of things that are really good about it as a daily phone. So first off, it is a super pleasant, smooth experience. It is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 with 16 GB of RAM. So it is a blazing fast smartphone for daily usage. Not only that, it works on the Android and HyperOS system. And by the way, the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, with its processor, it is a beast smartphone for gaming. But speaking of gaming, you have to check out Instant Gaming. This is where I get my games for all of my consoles from. Essentially, they have great deals on games and subscriptions. I was literally able to find games like the Batman Arkham Trilogy for just a couple of dollars. And there are some amazing hidden gems for even less than $1. And together with Instant Gaming, we're doing a giveaway where one of you can win a game of your choice. If you're interested in this month's giveaway, check out the link down below. It also has a 7500 mAh battery, which is a pretty big battery for a smartphone of this size. Not only that, it has a 100-watt wired charging and 50-watt wireless charging, so it is a big battery and that you can charge pretty quickly. But now with that out of the way, let's go to my favorite part about the smartphone, the cameras on the back. So this is a triple 50 megapixel camera setup. As you can see, we have the screen on the back. On the screen we have the two main telephoto, and underneath it here is a little wide-angle lens. So this is our triple 50 megapixel camera setup of the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. And let's start with the one that I feel is the worst out of the three, the wide-angle lens. As you can see, it is underneath the camera bump, the camera screen, and the two other cameras. It is on the black bar here. And because of that, I found myself a lot of times having my finger too close to it that I had to move just to make sure that it's not on the wide-angle lens when shooting with it. Not only that, it does feel like it's an afterthought. I mean, just the design itself kind of speaks for itself. We have the two cameras, the main cameras on the top, and then just a slight little camera on the bottom. Not only that, my biggest problem with it is actually not the quality of it, rather it's how wide it is. Many wide-angle cameras for smartphones tend to be something like a 0.5 times zoom or a 0.6 times zoom. So they're pretty much almost half of what the main 1 times zoom camera offers, where this is a 0.7 camera zoom, meaning that it's less wide than the competition, and I definitely felt that when we tested this phone. Well, it's not bad per se, it looks good and the quality is really good. I felt like I was lacking in that wide department. I just wish it was a little bit wider. So it definitely feels almost like an afterthought in this triple camera setup. It just, it feels like it's added on like a small little camera just so that there is a wide-angle lens. But it isn't, in my opinion, as good as the other two. Now moving on to the main camera sensor, the top one of the two, it is a really good 50 megapixel camera sensor. The photos and videos from it look great, and while there are phones with bigger 1-inch sensors, I feel like this is definitely a flagship level camera. The photos and videos look really sharp, really nice, and you can really take great photos with it, with even nice background separation. So there is that to it, especially if you have it at arm's length, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in the selfie department. But overall, it really is a nice camera, which you can take really good photos with and videos, really sharp, doesn't seem to have any problems whatsoever. And then we have the middle lens, which is the x5 telephoto lens. It is a great telephoto lens in my opinion. And while I do wish it was something along the lines of the quad camera setup in the Xiaomi 14 and 15 Ultra with something more in between the 1 times zoom and the 5 times zoom, because we're going from a 1 to 5 where everything in between is going to be a digital zoom, I do wish there was something in between, but luckily we had that on the Ultra series of phones, and if I was to just give 3 lenses, I would definitely go for this, the ×1 and ×5 for that longer range. Gives us a lot more options in the long term. And the telephoto on this smartphone looks really good. I feel like it's a really nice, good telephoto lens. You can definitely see it on the camera that it's a really nice big lens for a size of the smartphone. And the photos and videos are sharp and really good from it. So these two are definitely my favorite of the 3 lenses on the smartphone, the ×1 and ×5. And one thing you have to know about the Xiaomi's phones is that the color profiles are Leica Authentic and Leica Vibrant. Those two are how the phone is gonna look at the photo, color graded, and give you the final look. Most of the photos you're gonna see in this video are on the Leica Vibrant, and this is the one that I use on my daily, which is the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Nonetheless, both are really nice. It really depends on what you're looking for in a photo. If you want something that is a little bit more brighter, a little bit more vibrant, then the Leica Vibrant is definitely the one to go for. The Leica Authentic, on the other hand, is a little bit more artistic. It does give you a little bit of a vignette, but also is a little bit toned down with the colors, a little bit more contrast based, and this definitely gives us amazing looking photos if you want something a little bit more artistic. Both the Leica Vibrant and the Authentic are really good in terms of color science, so both of them look very good. At the end of the day, it's gonna depend on the user, which one you prefer, what kind of a photo you want to take, but both are really good. In my usage, I usually go for the Leica Vibrant for everyday shooting, and the Leica Authentic for a little bit more something artistic, and also during the night, where the artificial light can be a little bit too much for the Vibrant, where the Authentic tones it down a little bit, which just feels a little bit more natural. Overall, the Leica Authentic and the Leica Vibrant give us a really good look straight out of the camera, and because of that, you don't really have to edit them in post-production. The photos are pretty much ready to go to post online or social media. On many other smartphones, you might have to work a lot more in post-production to match the color grading of the Leica Authentic and Vibrant. Just for the portraits with the back cameras, they do feel really good. They are going in the right direction, but usually this is the part where I kind of dislike the Xiaomi phones the most in terms of photos. The reason for that is really simple. What I love about the photos and videos from the Xiaomis, especially because of the Leica Vibrant and Authentic, and overall how the processing goes, I kind of wish it was not the same for the portraits, because the contrast, the colors, are not the best in portraits. The reason for that is the skin tones and the contrast on the face, for example, just make the photos look good but kind of unflattering. And I wish it was processed a little bit different. It is going in the right direction through the different years that I've been testing the Xiaomi phones, but I still feel it's not it. I just feel it was good, but could have been better. And being that this is the Chinese model, in the portrait modes there's a lot of beautification, so you have to turn it off if you want to have natural looking photos. With that being said, they do create a really nice portrait photos, and if you want that background blur, the additional background blur from the processing, you can turn it on and it looks pretty good. Depending on the situation, the foreground, background, it can look really good, but sometimes it's gonna have some artifacts, so it really depends, but it's gotten better with each generation. So overall, the portraits on this are really good. Maybe not the best, but they are good. And now let's talk about the selfie. But we have to remember one thing. This phone has a camera on the back and a screen on the back. And that is a really big thing, because while you can take the normal traditional selfies on the front facing camera, and they're pretty good, they're not bad by any means, but they're not anything to, write home about. It's a good camera. But what really shines about the smartphone is the functionality of the screen. My favorite point of the screen, because when you go into the camera app, on the top you have a button which lets you do the rear display. As you can see, this is you. This is the camera that you're watching from. So now if I want to take a selfie, I can do it like this. And as you can see, you can take a selfie from the back camera without even having to use the main camera, meaning you use the best camera that you have available on the smartphone for selfies. It adds a lot more background blur, but a natural one. Not that it is added in post-production, but rather the size of the sensor makes that difference. So it looks much better. It's better for low light, better for image stabilization, overall, like all benefits that you can have from the main camera sensors. And because of the screen, you can see yourself and you can take photos with it, which is incredible. That is why I feel like this might be the best selfie camera out there on the market, just because of that, because you can do that with all the phones out there on the market. But if you have a screen there, you can actually see what you're shooting, and that makes the whole difference. It is a really nice feature. So if you take a lot of selfies, this is definitely an amazing feature. It just lets you take photos and videos and still see what you're doing on the screen. So it's a really nice way for creators to have just more freedom to use the better cameras on the back. So for selfies, this is gonna be a little bit of a different kind of rating this time because, well, we have a traditional selfie camera, but you can also use the back, which just makes it that much better. And in all three lenses, you can shoot in JPEG and RAW. With RAW, you can edit them in post-production to make those photos your own. You just have more freedom and capabilities in post-production. And if you like the way I edit those photos, they're edited with my Lightroom presets. If you're interested in Lightroom presets to really quickly, with one click of a button, edit photos, check out the link down below for my Lightroom presets. And by the way, if you're looking for copyright-free music for your channel, check out Epidemic Sound. With the link down below, you get a 30 days free trial. And that brings us to video. The Xiaomi 17 Pro Max has up to 8K at 30 frames per second and 4K 120 frames per second. But for everyday shooting, usually I shoot still at 4K 60 frames per second, which you can shoot on 3 of the lenses. And you can actually change the lens while shooting. While the change might not be the smoothest, it is smooth enough for daily usage. In my opinion, it has pretty good stabilization, and overall the videos look pretty good. Not only that, on all the lenses you can shoot at 4K 60 frames per second with log profile, meaning that you can edit that in post-production, just giving you much more freedom to edit the way you want to and really push the cameras to its full potential. And like with the selfies, while you can shoot selfie video for vlogs, in this case, you can actually use the back cameras and the back screen to really take advantage of the better cameras on the back. Thanks to this, you can shoot a video, like for example a vlog, but still have that preview of what you see if everything is in frame and if everything is going smoothly. Thanks to this, you can really take advantage of the cameras on the back and just make the best quality content with a smartphone. I feel like this screen on the back for content creation could be a game changer because it does add in so much versatility and potential, especially for those that want to create vlogs or for Instagram. Instead of taking a selfie with a traditional camera, you take it with this one, makes it much more professional, much better looking. So it is a game changer in my opinion. Overall, I have to say the camera performance of the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max is incredible. While there are a little bit of things that I wish was a little bit different or better, overall it is a very solid and very premium camera setup. With that being said, if you have any more questions about the cameras of the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max, let me know in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.